Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. Daniela is my name and I'm 28 years old. I'm not the type of girl who posts personal and family issues online to gain sympathy, but I'm just too overwhelmed by the kind of situation that I have found myself in right now that I desperately need to share it with someone to shake it off my head. Maybe I could use your advice to see me through the entire mess. I have a little sister, 24, female. Let's call her Tricia. We grew up together with both parents. Our parents aren't super rich, but they showered us with their love in diverse ways. I won't lie about the fact that I used to love my sister so much until recently, when she messed up and screwed things between us. Let's get to the beginning of the entire chaos. That was 7 years ago. By then I was dating Mike, now my ex-boyfriend though. Mike and I were so in love with each other that we decided to get married 2 years into our relationship. Hence, we started making some serious decisions to have a beautiful future together. Before I forget, Mike was such an awesome boyfriend. All the time I spent with him would forever remain etched in my heart. You might be wondering why I'm saying nice things about him although he's my ex. Yeah, that is because we ended our relationship on good and peaceful terms. As part of our plans before getting married, Mike suggested that we take a genotype test to ensure our compatibility. I agreed because we both didn't want to end up having any sick babies in the future. But the result came out different from what I expected. Both of us were sickle cell carriers, so there was a higher chance that we could end up having a sickle cell child should we get married. I was devastated, just like Mike. But I didn't want to be selfish. I wasn't ready to sacrifice an innocent life for our love, so we both did the needful. We brought our relationship to a peaceful end. Mike bought me a house and opened a shop for me as a token of his appreciation for all the years we spent together. We are still friends and text each other once in a while, but there is absolutely no romantic relationship between us. Mike got married last year, and the rest is history. Just a year after Mike and I broke up, Tricia texted me complaining about how life wasn't treating her well and how financially she and her husband were struggling to cater for her 3 kids. She also mentioned the fact that I was living a better life than her. She kept on bubbling over the whole thing until I interrupted and asked her to just go straight to the point. She said that I should take in 2 of her kids and help her cater for them because she was expecting another child in 2 months. I immediately declined her offer, explaining to her that I was too busy to have time for her kids. Her 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl, are the ages of 5, 3 and 2 years old. She told me that I was being selfish and cruel towards her. I told her I wasn't ready to babysit any kids, which is why I have none yet. So she can call me whatever she wants, but I won't take in her kids. After this incident, unaware of me, Tricia remained mad at me. Although I didn't want to take in the kids, I went to greater lengths to support them in whichever way I could. I bought them gifts on almost all occasions and made sure their birthdays were memorable. I was that kind of favorite auntie they all loved. Fast forward to August last year, I finally moved on. I met Kevin and we started dating. Kevin was equally caring, but barely 3 months into the relationship, we broke up. I still remember that day, and what makes it hurt even more is the fact that it was my birthday. Kevin came to my apartment reeking of alcohol. When I tried to walk up to him, he just pushed me away and told me that we were done. I asked him why, but he didn't give me any reason. I didn't know what I did wrong until 4 months ago when he finally told me the reason and asked that we get back together after realizing that I was innocent, which I immediately refused. He revealed that Tricia told him that I was cheating on him with my ex. I was shocked and furious because the past month after my breakup, I continued supporting her, especially her newborn. While I saw her as family, she only wanted to ruin my life. I angrily went over to her place to confront her about what Kevin told me. A part of me was hoping that it wouldn't be true. I wasn't mentally and emotionally prepared for how things turned out. She confirmed all that Kevin told me. I asked her why she did that to me, and she coldly told me that I deserved it because of how I treated her when she asked that I'd taken her kids. Even before she was done, I raised my hand at her for the first time and gave her a dirty slap. I told her that from that day onwards, we both have nothing to do with each other. Before stepping out of her house with tears blinding my eyes, the pain of being betrayed by my little sister was very unbearable. Now here is the main deal. 3 months ago, Trisha had a nasty divorce with James, her husband. James caught her cheating on him 3 consecutive times, and when he confronted her, she complained and blamed it on James for not giving her the kind of life she wanted. Trisha is the materialistic type of girl, and she would go to great lengths to achieve what she wants. James could no longer bear her attitude and filed for a divorce. She was left with almost nothing because she was at fault, and they weren't married for too long. Last night, I received a phone call from her. She was asking that I let her stay at my place for the time being while she saves money to rent a place, or even lend her some money to just rent a place at once. Knowing very well that she was the one, I told her that it was the wrong line. Before I ended the call, I told her to go and ask the bank for a loan because I don't lend money to ungrateful bitches. This morning, my parents called me asking that I support my sister at this moment because she just had a divorce and needs me the most. I told them that I had no sister in this world before ending the call. Am I the a-hole? Update. Just like every year, I went home for the upcoming Christmas. As a norm in my family, we all get together to celebrate each Christmas. When I arrived, I had barely placed my bag down when my parents called me to understand why I refused to help my sister. I explained to them how she ruined my relationship, and they were dumbfounded. She came today, and I guess she was expecting our parents to reprimand and convince me, but they never did. She became restless and started complaining about how I treated her when everyone was seated at the dining table. Her actions only fueled their anger, and to my surprise, they defended me. They told her she was facing the karma of how she treated me, so she should shut the F up and enjoy every single moment of it. Thanks for your comments on my post. They got me going. You're not the a-hole, OP. Your sister got what was coming to her. She did a horrible thing to you, and she destroyed your relationship with her all by herself. She shouldn't expect you to welcome her with open arms into your apartment. She sounds entitled and overall, a headache from all the things you've said. You're not an a-hole for not wanting that in your life or your apartment. I'm glad your parents agree with you. Take care, OP. Let your sister enjoy the consequences of her rotten actions. Story 2. This happened last year, and since my brother brought it up, I figured I would post here. I, 45 female, have 3 boys, 23, 15 and 5 years old. The one in question here is my 15-year-old. Ever since 2018, he's been a wise guy that is sometimes funny and sometimes annoying. What makes it annoying is when he destroys jokes. So last year, March was his birthday, and I asked him where he wanted his party. He tells me that he doesn't want a party, that he'll be busy making his movie. He makes his own stop-motion shots. I tell him what about the family members and his friends and how they are going to wish him a happy birthday. He said they can call, text, or make an Instagram post wishing me one. I told him that everyone would be sad if they couldn't come by, and he said rudely that I didn't need to guilt trip him because he doesn't fall for it anymore, and that most people that come are people's children that I work with, and that he barely even knows them. I remember just leaving him alone because there's no point arguing with him when it comes to shit like this. When his birthday came, his dad dropped him off with a new present I didn't like. It was an alien xenomorph figure. I hate those ugly things. My mom, his grandma, gave him his present wishing him one, and so did his siblings. I was on my couch with my dog browsing Twitter and went to my room. Later at night, I went into his room and explained why I didn't say happy birthday. I told him that I did it because I'm sick of him ruining jokes and him not caring about others. He told me that he didn't care that I didn't wish him one, that he had his family and friends, and the fact that I did this just to be petty and malicious showed him how much faith he lost in me over the years, and that my favoritism towards his younger brother and my opinions about Trump. Context: I spent most of my time with my 5-year-old that day, and he, my ex, and my mom hate Trump while I like him. I was hurt that he said that he lost faith in me, and when I told him about all the things I did for him, I remembered these words: God, please stop. Don't guilt-trip me for something you signed up to be as a parent. You're literally ignoring my birthday purposely just to be malicious. And you're complaining about me? Please leave me alone. You're making my night worse. I left his room and went downstairs to get a drink because I had enough of him, but didn't go back to my room without my mom berating me. This was brought while I was planning a birthday celebration for my 5-year-old, and my mom said that she hopes that I don't ghost him like I did with my 15-year-old. I know I might be a bitch here, but at the same time I don't think I am. I mean, after all I've done for all my children, I should at least be credited for that. What do the people on Reddit think? Edit. Wow, I was expecting not the a-hole responses, but it's the complete opposite. To those that said I'm a shitty mom, please go F right off. You're the a-hole OP, and your 15-year-old son seems to have more maturity, intelligence, and common sense than his mother. He recognized that you not wishing him a happy birthday was malicious and petty, and he's only a teenager. And you not only did it, you sought him out to make sure he knew you did on purpose. That is a dreadful, spiteful, and petty thing to do. Now you need to recognize how toxic and immature your behavior and attitude are, and how you are damaging your relationship with your middle child. If you want a relationship with him when he gets older, you will knock that shit out. Story 3. I, 27 female, married my husband, 37 male, 4 years ago. He has 3 children from his previous marriage, 16 male twins, 13 female. From the very beginning, I was super clear with them that while I would love a relationship, I would never try to force them into anything, especially not a parental one. And for the most part, that's been going about as well as you'd expect. I am dad's wife, nothing more. However, when the twins first started learning to drive last summer, I told them both that driving would give them new freedom, and I knew the stuff teenagers got up to. I then said that while I get that's part of growing up, their safety is the most important thing. So if they ever felt like they were in an unsafe situation and needed an out, don't hesitate to call me. I would come get them no matter what. No questions asked, and dad didn't have to know. Husband and his ex tend to be very liberal with punishments. They brushed me off at the time, and I thought very little of it. Fast forward, last Friday, one of the boys, B from now on, was supposed to be staying at a friend's house after prom. At 2:30, I finished a bit of grinding in my game when I got a call from him. B explains in a shaky and slurred voice that he was at a senior girl's house party, and the friend who drove had ditched him, and he had been drinking a lot. And please don't tell dad. I've already snuck out of the house, and I just say, don't worry, your father's asleep and I'm on my way. He texts me the address after some coaxing, and within 30 minutes, I'm discreetly shuffling a drunken, shaking boy into my passenger seat. He's crying within 5 minutes of leaving. I did my best to comfort him. I drove through McDonald's and got him a burger and ice cream. I get him home, sneak him back into his room and get him safe in bed. I don't sleep from constantly checking on him to be sure he doesn't show signs of alcohol poisoning. Husband leaves for work early Saturday morning so he doesn't notice B is home. B is nursing a bit of a hangover but is fine. Ever since, both the twins have warmed to me exponentially. I even heard B say, my dad and stepmom's house, instead of my dad's house, stepmom. But yesterday, my husband put 2 + 2 together after some combination of local gossip and testimony from his daughter, what actually happened and what I did. Obviously, he was mad that I knew and didn't tell him. I told him I wouldn't apologize for showing his son to ask for help in bad situations, nor would I condone punishing him for doing exactly what he should have done, to fix a mistake he clearly already learned from. Husband says I undercut him in the role of his child's father by going behind his back. The ex says I overstepped entirely, but I still think I did the right thing. Am I the a-hole? Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. It is so incredibly rare for a teenager to feel a strong enough connection with an adult that they would actually reach out when they don't feel safe somewhere. You could have easily saved him a hospital visit or a slow death on a high school girl's floor. You did absolutely the right thing. And you're an amazing stepmother. Not the a-hole. Authoritarian parents produce sneaky children, not obedient children. This kid could have easily gotten into a lot of trouble or foolishness because he thought he could not ask for help when he was in danger. 10 on 10 good step parenting. Good parenting centers the needs of the child, not the needs of the parent. Your husband has an emotional need to be obeyed, and that has been thwarted. That need is far less important than your stepchild's need to go to people who are trustworthy for help. No a-holes here because there are a lot of perspectives. You did the right thing for B. Completely understandable that dad would be upset that he wasn't the one who was called. And he probably feels like you were against him and his own family. Also understandable that B's mother isn't pleased. However, children need safe adults. And you played that role when it was needed. B might have made a bad decision without a safe adult to call. There's a reason he didn't call his father or his mother. They should reflect on that and be glad there was an adult their son trusted enough to call in a difficult situation.